our PVC drills, we're going to take a pretty typical piece of PVC. It's about 1 inch by 5 feet. You can get these at Home Depot or Lowe's. They run around $2 or $3. We're going to cover a couple drills now that are going to work on keeping our bat angle elevated so that we don't drop it as we approach the ball. We're going to work on our load and our stride so that as we're approaching the ball, we can create that rubber band effect between our hands and our front foot as we approach the ball. And we're going to be able to help keep the bat closer to our body so we stay inside the ball and extend towards the ball so we keep the bat on the path of the pitch for as long as possible. In our first drill, we're going to work on keeping that bat head elevated as we load and create a load and stride to create that rubber band effect. So first what we'll do is we'll take this piece of PVC, and as we get in our stance, we're going to hold right around the top third of the pipe. As we get set now with the pitcher moving to my right, I'm a left-handed batter. So as I get set, I'm going to make sure that my top hand is even with my shoulder and the piece of PVC is pointing right down towards my back foot. Right now, if I were holding a bat, the bat would be elevated pretty much straight up in the air. So as I get in my stance now, I hold my top hand up towards my shoulder. I point the bottom of the PVC pipe down at my foot. And as I approach my load, I'm going to take a step with my front foot and load with my hands at the same time. You want to imagine like you're pretty much taking your fist and you're getting ready to throw a punch. As whether you're in martial arts or you're an MMA fighter, if you're able to step and load that your punching hand, you're going to be able to create this stretching opportunity in your hips and your abs and in your back shoulder. So we want to create that same effect. So with our top hand elevated at our shoulder, our back elbow can be elevated. If you hold it down, that's okay. But right now I like to take this back elbow, hold it shoulder height, take my top hand shoulder height as well, and have this knob, the bottom of the pipe, pointing down at my foot. So in my stance I come set and I'm going to pull back and step at that same time. See, a lot of players that when they end up, the way that the players do this incorrectly is that when they load, they end up picking that knob up and that bat head starts to fall. When this happens, we see a lot of players end up swinging and they end up coming around, they flatten out their swing, and they end up actually swinging down through the ball. The more that you can keep that knob of the pipe pointing down, keep that back elbow elevated and your fist or your top hand at your shoulder, now as you load, you're able to create this opposite direction of stepping forward towards the plate and counter-rotating with the shoulders so that you're rotating your shoulders back, you're pulling the elbow back, and you're taking that step forward at that same time. The idea behind this is that we want to take anywhere from 10 to 20 repetitions. I highly recommend that you end up doing this in a mirror so that you can see how your upper body rotates and rotates backwards as your front foot is now stepping forwards. Yes, you want to feel your core slightly moving forward towards the pitcher. You also want to make sure that when you're landing, your spine is straight, your knees are bent. We don't want to be landing with that front leg straight, and definitely don't want to be landing with that back leg straight. As we come set, again, feet spread, hands up, shoulder height, elbow up, so that bat head is now elevated straight up in the air. We can now pull back and step at that same time, making sure our knees are bent and we're back in this good, strong batting stance. In our second drill, what we're going to do is take our hands and roughly hold the stick around 50-50. We're going to get in our second, our stance now with our hands shoulder height, that bat head elevated. Now with that, we actually have a bat head to feel and manipulate with this pipe still pointing down at our back foot. In this drill, what we're going to do is work on still staying connected, almost taking our shaft to our shoulder, so that now as we come through, we can step and load at the same time. But now as we turn to approach the ball, we're going to take our back foot, we're going to point the knob of the pipe towards the pitcher, and we're going to allow our back foot to come in towards our body, almost like a little skip. In earlier drills, we talked about creating a little toe drag. And that's still, in essence, what we want to accomplish. But as we create this load and stride, now as we turn, we want to pull our back elbow in. We want to lift that front elbow up, allow that shaft to get to our shoulder, and we're able to create movement towards the ball, tilting our shoulders, pointing that knob of the bat or the end of the pipe up towards the pitcher, so that we're able to create a good stretch and load position, keeping that barrel of the bat head elevated, keeping the knob of the bat down towards my back foot still, so that now as I turn, my back foot frees up, it's not glued to the ground, I'm not squishing the bug, I'm basically skipping with my back foot, creating turn in my hips, allowing my shoulders to rotate, and getting my shoulders and the bat on the same angle and the plane of the pitch as it's coming in. So as I come set, I'm going to start out in my stance, hands shoulder height, bat head elevated with that pipe pointing down at my back foot. I'm going to step and load. I'm going to then bring my back foot in, lift my front elbow up so my shoulders are tilted. The barrel of the bat is now pointing down towards the catcher. The knob of the bat is pointing up towards the pitcher. My front leg is straight, and my back foot has been able to skip on in, allowing my knee to get underneath me, my hips to turn, and my body to commit towards rotating to the ball. In our third drill, we're going to work on creating a more consistent swing, getting into our extension drill. We're going to start with our feet spread, our hands about 50-50 on the pipe. Start with our hands shoulder height, that elbow up, that bat head elevated, the knob, the bottom of the pipe pointing down towards my back foot. And as I approach the swing now, I'm going to step and load. I'm going to turn, bring my back foot in, elevate that front elbow so the knob is now pointing at the pitcher. But now as I go to swing, I'm going to extend my hands, point the bat up towards the pitcher, and the bottom of the pipe should end up kind of hitting right underneath your shoulder or right at your shoulder. If you do this drill incorrectly, what's going to happen is if you load and you end up dropping that bat head, you see that knob starting to point up towards the camera. As I come through to swing now, if I extend, I'm going to hit myself in the ribs every time. So you want to make sure that as we're coming up, we're loaded and set. We're in our stance. I load and stride. I pull my back elbow in, get into my connected my shaft to shoulder position. I'm able to extend and come up through the ball so that the bat head is pointing up towards the pitcher, and that knob of the pipe is pointing and hitting my back shoulder right now. So as you come through again, you're able to load and stride, stay connected, extend, and come through. The fourth drill in our PVC series is our stride, load, and rotate drill. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this pipe and we're going to stick it right across our elbows, take our thumbs, bring it right on the top of the pipe so that we're pressing down on our thumbs. The thumbs are pressing down on our elbows and the pipe is pretty sturdy. Both my elbows are out now, and so the pipe is connected, so I'm able to rotate, and wherever my elbows go, that's where the pipe is also going to go. So in my stance right now, I'm going to keep my feet spread nice and wide, and as I load, I'm going to load and stride. So now I'm going to pull my elbow back, I'm going to open up my front foot, and I can move towards the pitcher. So I step and load and stride, and from here I'm going to bring my back foot in underneath me. I'm going to take my shoulder down, and I'm going to twist and turn so that my back is now pointing towards the opposite dugout. My back shoulder is now pointing right at the pitcher. I want to create a full rotation throughout the course of this drill. We see so many hitters, as they come through, they turn and swing and they end up stopping themselves. We have 180 degrees of rotation to take advantage of. So as we stride and load, we then want to twist and turn so that my back foot comes underneath me, my front leg extends, and I'm able to complete a full shoulder rotation all the way through the course of my swing. As you take, if you were to take a normal bat and hold a bat in your hands, as you complete this process, you might even want to think about doing that top hand release drill which we've done earlier, and feel the opportunity to make sure that your body is able to turn 180 degrees so your back shoulder is pointing towards the pitcher. Again, feet spread, pipe on the elbows, thumbs down on the elbows. So now as you step and load, you feel that counter rotation, you feel that stretching going on in your abs. So you step and load, pull that top hand shoulder back. Now as you rotate, you're going to pull that back foot in, up on the toe, front leg straight, rotate the shoulders all the way around so your back shoulder is pointing towards the pitcher.